this year, the flea bitten dapple right next to me is Sundance, she's 12. So I'm just going to let him be where he needs to be. And I'm going to leave my space right now for him. And breathing and grounding, Sundance is going to help. So how many of you have dealt with horses like this? They're up, they're running, they're pulling, they're jumping. Underneath of you, they're just out of their mind. And it's scary. And it's scary for a reason. Keep us safe. Pay attention to it, definitely. Now, this seminar I'm doing is about the depth of Equus. And what motivates horses to do the things that they do. The depth of Equus. So I'm not going to get into general horsemanship as far as the psychology of horses. So this is pretty nice. This is really nice. So he'll know where to come for comfort when he feels safe. So how many of us have worked with horses, our own horses or someone else's horse, and you can't teach them anything, or you think that you're getting somewhere and then you lost them again? And the horse is up, their adrenaline's up. You feel it, you see it. We've all been there. Oh my gosh, and Smokey's the toughest horse I've ever worked with. Now why is his head down so low? This is what I teach. This is energy. This is grounding. So one of my specialties is behavior and rehabilitation. This horse busted me up. Where's my dad? Hi Mom. Hi Greg. Love you. I'll start crying. I haven't seen him in a while. When my dad was there, it was Smokey like nuts. So, this doesn't work. That's okay. I don't need it. Here you go. So, how do you help? I mean, the depth of Equus is about not just the basic psychology of a horse, and understanding the basics, what motivates them. What, they have a hierarchy of needs. There's 4 things. Safety, comfort, food, and then play. So what does safety mean? And what does comfort mean?
Yes.
Do you have any ideas or information about that? Tell me, anybody, scream it out. What does safety mean for a horse?
On the floor, there's a big packaging tape thing
How does a horse feel safe? How do you help them? They travel in numbers, right?
You're right back.
But there's just the 2 of you when you're working together. It's emotional. It is emotional. Safety and comfort is the bond. This isn't a trick. This isn't with treats. This is because of the relationship and the ability to center yourself in ground, to bring your energy up when appropriate and to bring your energy down. It's a discipline. It's a discipline of the mind for my horses. So I know that when my horse, my black horse, is in a safe, feeling safe, he's 2nd level dressage. He's amazing right now. And I know when he's not feeling safe, like I'm not going to ride him riderless when I am on in about 2 hours for equitainment. I will ride her riderless. But she has a different headset, different temperament. So we're talking about 3 levels right now. I just went over 2, the psychology of horses, the basic nature, their hierarchy of needs. The second would be the nature of your horse, the temperament, the personality, understanding that. And the third would be conditioned response. So how many of us have rehabilitated have rehabilitated horses?
See, sometimes.
It should be okay.
You sure? How do you do this one?
I wouldn't interrupt her now.
Tough horses. How many of us have worked with tough horses? A lot of us. A lot of us. So conditioned response is the experience that the horse has that they bring to your relationship. So what about trigger points? Do you guys understand what trigger points are? I equate them to post-traumatic stress disorder. Why do I say that a horse has, there's the power of intention. Power of intention. My mare left me and I went right back to her with my eye. Doesn't get much better than that. You want safety, you get the mind, and you get the heart, and you will have the feet. 3 levels of join up: mind, body, and soul. And I'll demonstrate how that shows up. But we're here to talk a little bit more about the depth of Equus. And there's so much depth to horses. They are so emotional. They are emotionally intelligent. They're phenomenal for therapy. They're great co-facilitators. They can feel everything, sense energy. They communicate gutturally in the wild. How many of you have ever had the privilege of studying wild horses? I have. My farm was not too far from Chincoteague. I used to rescue and take in a lot of Chincoteague ponies. I've ridden bridleless and bareback on the beaches with the wild horses. Let me tell you what normal looks like. It's not our horses. Because we domesticate them. We influence them. Normal. What it tells you. Normal. Normal. Harmony. Level-headed. They only run when they have to. They only run when they have to. They're constantly conserving their energy. They are highly civilized. Their need for social structure and community is amazing. They're herd animals. Their sense for community and to belong and to contribute is stronger than a dog's. Their need is stronger than a dog's. They need companionship. They need to feel like they fit in. Why do they have pecking orders? They have a pecking order to help establish social structure. Once the horses establish social structure, they stay right where they are. That creates peace. In the dynamic of the herd, it creates peace. You don't have them fighting like our domesticated horses do. There are so many socially displaced behaviors, and it breaks my heart. But we can change that. We actually can modify that behavior. The work that I do, the DVDs that I've created is for this, is to help that mindset. Help the mind, the body, the soul. I want my horse to seek me out. I have to be patient with the black horse. I have to be patient. It's my job. I am his mentor. It's my responsibility. You want to be a leader? It's your responsibility, just like it is with your kids. Knock it off. So that was interrupt behavior. Quick noise, quick action, let it go. That's the power of attention. Your horses are that fixated on you. He wanted to walk away, and I pulled him right back in. This is about safety. This is about a depth of control that will keep you safe. So we have a prey animal, right? They are hardwired, programmed to take in their surroundings constantly. They're very visceral. All of their senses are on all the time. It's their job. But if you are the leader that they trust, they'll pay attention to you. You make that call. My word is very spiritual. It's very intuitive because it deals with the senses. It deals with the body, the feel, the tempo, the rhythm, the energy, the connection, the level of subtle communication. You don't hear me call them. You don't hear me pluck. I don't use an aid or a tool to get their attention. I use me. But I use my lips when I need them when I'm riding, and I need them to they're not listening to one of my supported aids, then I'll use a tap, tap, tap. I'm not afraid of that. I choose to ride bitless, I choose to ride bareback, but I love my dressage, I love my western, I love it all. But to really feel connected, not just in the body with my horse, one, but in the soul, the truest test is liberty. Free lunge is freedom. And the truth says if you can ride without a rider. It is for me. When I work in a round pen, it's just a round pen. It's just because it's a circular sphere of space that always supports the circular continual energy. So what I'm going to show you guys is when I work horses in a round pen, I don't ever want them to leave me. I don't ever want my horse to leave me, right? They're feeling insecure. I
going
she's
down.
okay. Oh, I knew it. But I knew it.
You know what you're doing when they're done.
There's no poop. At least it's dry. And she's great. So, let me show you what that looks like. I lost my whip, but let me see what I can do.
No, it's back.
It's a great, I'll use it. The whip's a great extension for energy. So let's show you. And don't get me wrong, thank you. You fixed it. Who fixed that? I did. Oh, thank you. Caitlin. Thank you. Caitlin's my assistant. She just graduated from my certification. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of horses you go to work with, and they've either been free lunch to stay out there, okay, and they don't know any different. But I don't want my guys to leave me. I want them to be pulled into me, into my belly, into my core. This is your chi energy. This is where you ride. You ride with your seat, right? Not your legs. You ride with your seat. Your seat is the driver. Your seat is what connects. Now, they could pull me off. They could go rest right now. They can do whatever they want. But I know they need me right now. So I'm going to ask you to be able to see down. Oh, let's see. I'll ask them to back up. You're out there. And I'm going to ask you. Let's see if he loses his mind. And I'm going to call her back in. Thank you. I'll leave him out. I'll let him alone. He can't handle it. So I'll send her out, but I don't want her on the rail. I don't want her to leave me. So how do I keep her? My eye to her eye. Don't let anybody ever tell you again, don't look a horse in the eye. You'll scare them. Depends on how you look at your horse. Do you look at your horse and say, I love you, I want you? Or do you look at your horse like, no, you look at your horse like, I love you, I want you. Let me see if he'll play it. So, I love you. That's my calorie. It comes from your heart. And I want you to stay. I don't want you. There's the tempo for the top. Let her stretch out her back. Look at that back. Look at that back. So it's lost her. A little bit of action. Good girl. Thank you. Good girl. So I'm embodying the rhythm of the canter. Come on, Bella. Lift up, lift up. The point is, I don't want her to leave me. Now let's see if they'll do it. Thank you. Good girl. So when you have bloody sour, don't get me wrong, these guys are, we don't do this very often. We were not here last year. It's our 4th year though. And the key thing is, beautiful. Thank you. That's energy. So my aids are minimal. My aids are minimal for me. Because the depth is how closely is your horse paying attention. If you're screaming and yanking and tapping all the time, you're dulling your horse out. What are they responding to? The action, the tool, or you? Everything starts with you. Don't get me wrong. This is a supporting aid. I'll use it when it's necessary. But then I'll stop and I'll go back to starting all over again to make sure that my horse is listening to me. So let's see if she'll do the Spanish walk. Energy. And that, we have not really played with for a long time, and we just started her stepping into her Spanish walk. Not even in there, doing her Spanish walk. But she's got to be paying attention. The depth of Equus, understanding when your It doesn't get any better. It doesn't. This is how they treat each other. This is how they take care of their young. I'm family. I've seen my horses go after other horses. I've seen them circle 20 horses out in my facility. I don't worry about it. They take care of me, and I take care of them. Three levels to join up. We've been looking. Three levels. The mind, the body, and the soul. It's not just the eye. That's the mind. What about the body? How does it look? What about the soul of the horse? How does the soul show up? So let's take a look. I'm all about safety. I have a pre-flight system. Excuse me for putting my rear end next to it. Let's see if it comes together. Sometimes
She wouldn't miss it.
I'm not even on it. So I'll show you how we achieve this. It's not a trick. I had a caller. Normally I never have to call. It's just a little preoccupied, but it's not a trick. It's the energy and the work that we do on the ground, my lunging system. And the horse is always revolving around you. The horse is always with you, focused on you. And you are providing that comfort, that emotional connection, that place that makes them feel safe. So it's, unfortunately, it's so generalized, the psychology of horses, and what safety in numbers. Sure, there's safety in numbers, but that's so basic. The safety in numbers is really based upon wild horses and when they're being attacked by a predator. And they always put the young in the middle, and then they run circles around them, and they keep them safe. So it's not just there. It doesn't just end there, this level of safety that we want. What about the connections and the companionship and the need? They all cooperate. I get tired of hearing my horse needs a job. Your horse doesn't want to work. Horses are lazy by nature. They're lazy. They'd rather sit and gab all day. They don't want a job, but do they want to contribute? Yes, they want to contribute. Do they want to feel like they are a contributing member? Yes, they do. They need that. They're so highly socialized. Again, that's the pecking order. That's what pecking order is all about. Who needs, it's like running the military. Who's in charge, and who needs to be aware, and who delegates what? I'm all about helping herds become socialized, about bringing balance and well-being to your horses, to your herd, but it's got to start within you. I teach you too. I do internships all the time. I do intuitive wellness clinics all the time because I'm here to help you be where you need to be for your horse. I'm here to help you. Be where you need to be for him. Don't ask him to be there for you. You've got to understand what he needs. And then what motivates them? Praise, joy, affection. They love that. Sure, they love food. Sure, they love treats. They always have a bag of carrots, a bag of apples, a bag of mints, whatever they want, but they never know when they're getting it. But they get it every day. So the chi energy. So, the eye, the body, the soul. We just saw Smokey's soul. Pick up your feet. Feel free. He's not thinking. Good. Pick up the tempo. Pick up the energy. Get in sync with that. Get in sync with that. I wasn't sure what he was going to do when I'm up here. I might be all thinking. Okay. All right. You handled that really well. Disney, Mom and Dad? Come a long way, huh? Come a long way. And Chelsea, you know it too. All right. Relax. That's her way of displacing anxiety. Just got a little bit of that positive. So our horses are imbalanced for the most part. I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you they are. How many of us have consistency with our horses? How many of us bring in consistency? I'm not talking about training, I'm just talking about being. How many of us are consistent with our horses emotionally? You know, horses are the most adaptable species there is. You realize that? And yet we can't even take them out of the barn, out of the field, away from each other. Why is that? Why? They don't feel safe. I know, believe me, I know. And I still go through it when he's triggered. He's a mess. Sorry, guys. He is a mess. So, not on top of you thinking, no, I love you, not on top of you. Do what you need to do. I'll let you on the plane in a minute. That was cute. Do you see that? That's play. Toss that head. Bottom. Let's go. So that's progress. So I'm waiting until he softens and warms up before I show you some fun stuff. So I got a little bit of play. Just see that little cocky head toss like little babies do in stallions. I'm going to get all puckered up. Keep it up. Bring them up. I'm all about emotional agility. How to get help a horse that loses his mind. You got to know how to help them. You got to be able to center them and ground them first and offer them a place where they can come to feel safe. Woo, that's gorgeous. Now what do you do if your horse can't calm? Oh, I know, because they're all over the place. Sometimes you got to just let them be who they need to be until they figure it out. And, or you match that energy. But you do it in a loving space. Hold that space and you say, look dude, I can hang in there while you're running here and running there and running here and running there on the end of that line. As long as you respect my space. You see the end of this whip? This is the back of my hook. You're going to run into it if you get any closer. I don't trust you, not him, but I don't trust this horse. It's going crazy on me. So define your space. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what they do all the time. It's how you do it. All about the approach. It's how you do it. Get your mind back. Yeah. So I love you too. He's a duck lover. But he hugs. He's so smart. So when you hug his neck, he puts his leg around you and wraps. Be where you need to be. Work it out. So be smart, you guys. Be smart. Don't take things for granted. Understand the depth of the horse emotionally, how much they feel, the sensitivity level. Tune into that. And then how can you shape it? How can you help it? It's not always easy. So let's see if we can play.
He knew.
Don't jump on her. This is fine. But I'm going to work it out. I'm going to match the wheel. Ooh, that's great. Come on. Yep. Remember, I can't do anything with him if he's not on me. So what do I want? Pull him in. Right now, when he gets on me, he's going to get rhythm, regularity. The circle's going to get smaller. Good boy. Gorgeous. Yeah. If I put more pressure on him, he freaks him out right now. He can't. That's the soul. When they lean in and wrap to you like they do their young. Okay? Their heart chakra is their shoulder area. Their chakras are lined up like ours along their spine, their energy. You sit at the base of your spine, you sit at the first chakra, which is the earth chakra. It's all about grounding. You sit on your horse with that energy. And, yes, where that energy is, what energy you're sitting on is their fire energy, their third chakra. So if you don't have a really level-headed, grounded horse that can ground that energy, you've got a lot of energy, or you're nervous or scared, can you imagine the combination when they feel it? It's dangerous. So grounding you and embodying and getting to that place. And then being able to bring down that emotional agility. Bring it up and turn it off. Little bit, take it down. That's control. It's mental, emotional, and it shows up physical. Everybody wants to work on the physical. Everybody wants the technique all the time. That's great, but where's your foundation? What is your foundation? What's it made of? What's it made of? How does it show up? I won't ride a horse that I can't get on bareback. And you know why? Because bareback is humbling. And it keeps you honest and it keeps it truthful. I'm getting older. I want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't want to die. I don't want to get injured. I'm all about safety. I'm all about the mind. Getting the mindset. The mindset, you can change it. You can modify it. You just have to know where to begin. I teach that. You have to know where to begin. How do you shape it? How do you mold it? These are two of the toughest horses. Took 2 years to get the buck out of her. They did a real good job on her. 6 months of training before I got her to the age of 3. A lot of people did a lot of damage to him before I got him to the head horse. Absolutely unrivaled. And I don't care how many bendings to a stop you would do, you pull a bit right through his mouth. And he'd still be going. It was energy work. It was reminding him when he got triggered and snapped on me. Now, of course, this trigger. You guys know what that means. Do you believe in it? Do you understand it? Do you experience it? You know what a trigger is. You lose it. Something in their past experience triggers our horses. It's called a conditioned response. It's not normal. It's not normal. They don't trigger in the wild. That trigger would kill them. But because they are so intelligent, their intelligence is different. It's not cognitive like ours. Their brains connect, but very, very for a little bit. I mean, our brains connect and we pass information back and forth constantly. They don't switch like that. They always live in the right hemisphere, which is their senses. That's their survival. They don't have time to think. They have to make split-second decisions. So that's where the intuitive comes in. They're totally intuitive. They're the most intuitive species. By dolphins, elephants. They're pretty intelligent too. So, anybody have any questions about triggers and shaping and modifying the depth? He's just following my hand. But he's looking for it, isn't he? He wants it. He wants to feel grounded. He doesn't want to feel chaos. They are not hardwired for that. We've created that. We take them away from their mothers way too young. We take them away. Who influences those feelings? Another horse or us? They are so adaptable in the wild. They travel miles for food and water. And all sorts of landscapes, varying landscapes and terrain and weather. They don't stay in one place for too long, do they? And yet we can't even take them off the property.
Hey, what's the horses?
Anybody have any quick questions about anything that I've mentioned? Yes, ma'am. No, let me come over so I can repeat it.
Yeah, that's
yes.
Mommy.
Oh, they're both quarter horses. Smokey has a lot of he's pink, so that's why he's got a wavy tail. He's bleaching out. He's jet black in the winter. We're in Florida now, so
So Mommy needs her hands free so she can grab it.
and something that's, pretty much foundation. 14, 20 years old.
Really? Yep.
Anybody else with a question?
You think?
I'm going to do this. There. I'm going to go this way. Or you're saying hi. Anybody with a question? Yes. horse to do work? Okay. I'm going to answer a lot of these questions kind of general because it really takes a trained eye. You're going to see things totally different than how I see it. And like artwork, anything that we are emotionally attached to is basically so subjective. And it's all based upon our interpretation sometimes. I'm going to try and keep it black and white. How do you motivate a lazy horse? Well, always check yourself. Start with you first. Are you being consistent? Are you giving them mixed messages, or are you consistent? I'm all about being particular. I'm very assertive. Very. The difference between being assertive and aggressive, and this is going to answer your question. I don't go after my horses, but I'm quite assertive. My fears will. You come into this space, and I'm sorry you're going to get it. See the difference? Here I come. Here I come. Horse is never afraid of it. They know to keep watching out though. You need to be particular. To start out, you gotta wake him up sometimes. I don't know if he's lazy because he's dull, he's had too much experience, and he's soured. Lazy can mean a lot of things. Naturally, as a young horse, okay. Be particular, be snappy in your request. So I'm going to ask, so I'm going to give it 3 seconds as my golden rule. 3 is a magic number when training and when learning for any species. It's called cognitive pattern recognition. If you do something at least 3 times, I don't care if it's right, wrong, or indifferent, you create a new pattern, a new muscle memory, a new mental memory. So the key thing is, I'm going to give you 3 seconds, 3 tries, and we're going to do it at least 3 times. Now there are situations where we've got to stop on a good note because my gosh, you got to stop somewhere. But most of the time, I'm going to do it at least 3 times. Because I know that I'm creating a pattern, a recognition. Lazy horse, let's go. Smokey's too sensitive, so let's work with an independent, more confident horse like Sundance. Who was mean, lazy, but somebody started her the wrong way. She got on her, she knew 2 speeds. Walk and run. She heard me. So I'm going to ask her, she's got 3 seconds. I'm going to politely push her out with my energy. Over there, thank you, you're going over there. So she's got, I'm going to ask her for a trot, so watch. 1, 2, 3. She did it. What would I have done if she hadn't picked up that trot? Bring up the troops. Bring up your supporting aids. Be fair, be rhythmic, and be consistent. So don't smack them when you bring up the troops. Bring it up. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's here. Get out of the way. They will never be afraid of that. You've got to figure out in that breakthrough moment, how strong do I have to be? So just because you have a quiet, lazy horse doesn't mean you have to, that you can't be strong sometimes. Sometimes matching the intention with energy is just as important. Does that make sense, you guys? So it's like, okay, buddy, I'm going to nip this in the bud right now and get it through immediately. 1, 2, 3, you better start paying attention, because here I come. And mean it, but be rhythmic, rhythmic. Don't ever just hit, they will be afraid of you. They will fear you, because there's no warning. There's no warning. What? Rhythm, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, bam! The horse goes, whoa, what just happened? I have yet to have a horse fear me except Smokey, because he was so abused. So if you did that to him, he'd blow and take you, you'd be horizontal on the end of that rope. But 99% of the horses are not that extreme. So they'll go, oh crap, oh, there you are. Hello, wake up. Yeah, listen to me, tune your horse into you. Tune it in. Unfortunately, with a dull horse, we just do more and more and more, and we keep dulling them out. It's the particular. It's being particular and waking them up to pay attention. And you've got to figure that out. I know where I would be, but I'm not you and I'm not in that relationship. Of course. I look at relationships with my horses like I do with my men, my boyfriend, my ex-husband. Okay, not everything always works out. Not every person, every partner is meant to be. All right? So I believe in marriage. Oh my gosh, and I believe in all of that. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes you just gotta say enough is enough. Maybe I'm just not with the right partner. You've got to have joy in what you're doing. You've got to love what you do. You've got to love this relationship. I mean, that feeds my soul. It's everything. So I hope I helped a little bit. Anybody else with questions? Yes, ma'am. That's great. Do I ever use music when working with horses? No. And I don't use verbal cues. But I always say I love you, thank you, because when you say those things, they come up from the bottom of your first chakra, and they stay in your second and third, and that's the space that you ride and hold. So I always reward with verbal, but I don't use anything other than the subtlety of my energy and my attention. And in music, no, that doesn't mean it wouldn't be wonderful. I just don't work that way. I want to still them. I don't want to distract them. So I want to still them. Once they have a foundation, then we can ride to music. Oh yeah, ride to music. But in the beginning, there's too many distractions. And I don't use music to meditate. I use myself and breathing, but I breathe down and deep. I don't just breathe out. There's a difference. You breathe and fill up, and you breathe down, and you hold right here. This is the meditative practice of tuning into your energy. Because this is where you ride, and this is what's going to connect to your horse. And when I'm working, where do they keep coming? They keep coming right here. This is where they keep coming. And even when you ride, oh stop, you're just such a brother. Even when and don't get pushy with them. Treat them like your children. Now see, if he wasn't a little buggy, he'd spin right back to you. That's okay. I'm bringing it up. I'm able to bring up energy and not lose him. Anybody else with a question? Yes. Wow, love it. So, my horse has become increasingly spooky when you ride now. She's right on the ground. Okay, there's a lack of trust there. So there's something going on with you and how you're connecting with her and what she feels. And/or it could be a huge lack of trust. Now, does she have past experiences that shape her? See, there's a conditioned response. You don't know that. So my suggestion and recommendation is work on the ground. And I'm sorry to promote my method, but I tell you, I've worked with everything you can imagine. Work on the ground, get that embodiment, the same tempo and rhythm that you ride with. Get it connected. So be connecting and looking for that when you ride. You go slow. So that's a hard one. You gotta check. And you have to do things that are going to increase the level of trust. Increase the level of trust. Does she stay focused? Everything is about your horse staying focused. Does she stay focused on the ground? And then, whoa, I'm losing it when I ride. That could be a lot of triggers. But I promise you, the more breakthroughs you make on the ground, the easier it's going to be for her to trust you to ride and look for that as well. It all starts with the horse you can see. Always fantasy. How do we get them to want to come back? And then how do we bring that to the relationship? Yes. Anybody else? Yes. Oh, always. Yes. When I get on a horse for the first time that comes to me for training, I always start out bareback. I use bareback pad, but I always start out bareback. And I don't put a saddle on for a while. But you also have to, for me, the horse comes to pick me up, so I'll have a mounting block right here. And what it looks like is I'm on the mounting block, and all the work that I have in my method on the ground, especially your adrenaline, your fire chakra, with your first and second chakras where you ride. So the pick-me-up has to happen. I don't put my foot in the stirrup. That doesn't tell me anything. Anybody can steal a ride on a horse. Anybody just about can ride a buck. I don't ever want to have a buck. I don't ever want a horse to buck. I don't want them to feel like they have to buck. So introducing you first, having that trust and depth of relationship, then any equipment I ever introduce is not a problem because it is an extension, including rebuild. It just takes longer. Yes? Yeah, always. So that's a great question. So let me see if can you speak up just a little bit more? Okay, so someone else was just teaching about creating a level of respect on the ground or ground rules, and then you can get on, well, that's your method. Mine's about trust. Yeah. Yes, doing the groundwork is your test. That's your test. Yeah, I always want to see a horse how controlled emotionally and physically they are on the ground. Yes, always. So I always want to see if they can walk, trot, or canter. And how do they walk, trot, or canter? Are they calm and relaxed and have rhythm? How's their conformation? Their condition? And it's okay, I might not care about the canter because I know I can help with that. But I'm not going to ask for something that I don't see on the ground first. I want to see emotional control. Always, yes. It starts in my round pen, and it's about the bond. It starts right with what you're seeing right now. It doesn't. I don't send horses in here and run. Do not do that. All you're doing is trying to get the horse to submit. You've got to get them to come in and acknowledge, tune in. You've got to get them to tune into this. And sometimes it's not easy. These guys have been doing this for years. They know how to seek it out. But they go from the beginning, they're like, whoa, man. Get away from me, I'm going to get against that panel. So I kept them online for a little bit and help them tune in and feel safe that way before I turn that down. Build a bond, build that energy, intention, connection. Yes, he's afraid of it. Leaving it around and it's involving on this all being written. I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow. Great question. Because sometimes when you look at a horse in their lunge, the walk, trot, and canter, they're getting ready to buy, they look fine. And then they get triggered when you go to ride them. So that's your feedback. That just tells me I really still want this horse, but now I know what I have to deal with. So tomorrow, and I'll talk a little bit about that for a little bit right now, but tomorrow I'm on at the end, 4 to 5, and I'm talking about gaining control of the trot and canter. But it's not your typical seminar. It's about the mental. Get my lunge, get the walk, trot, and canter transition down on my lunge. I'll show it to you right now. Get this down on the lunge. Get this horse so connected to you. He's looking for it. That's how I teach train. It's not even a train. My horse is for riderless. It's not a technique. It's not a technique, guys. It's a mindset. And it's a level of emotional connection and control. That's what makes horses so dangerous. Number one, being hardwired, like they are, through their senses, to pay attention to everything, and to run when they feel necessary. That's obvious, but it's an emotional thing. So, my lunge. My lunge is all about the bend. It's about balance and self-carriage. A lot, please just come in and look for, I know right here. A lot of horses run and ride them because they don't have any balance. They don't have any balance. This is great to restart or start a horse because you're going to see Smokey. How does he get that small canter? I didn't teach that to through riding. I taught him to step underneath himself. It's my lunge method, but I follow classical dressage. So, what we're looking at is I'm going to stay in the center of his universe right now, and he's a little preoccupied with Sundance being over there. So what am I looking for right now? I'm looking for rhythm, relaxation, him not to change his tempo or his speed. He keeps coming in and going out, that's okay. But I'm looking for the bend or the arc around me. Now this shape or this form is so important. Look at his back muscles, watch his stomach, abdomen, look at his inside hind leg, and look at how he's lifting his inside shoulder. This is how you're teaching your horse to step underneath of themselves. So I'm looking, we're going to go walk, trot, and canter, but I'm looking for him to have relaxation, rhythm, and regularity at the walk. I will not ask for more speed until he has that. Why? Because every time a horse increases speed, you guys, they're programmed for flight. So every time, tell me, maybe your horse doesn't have a solid foundation. And so every time you get on, they only know 2 speeds, like Sundance had. Walk or canter, or run. There was no canter, or run. So you work all of this out on the ground. You're shaping your horse physically, creating a level of muscle, strength, balance for them to carry themselves. And then they'll be able to carry you. So I'm going to ask for a trot. Good. And I want the bend. So how do I work every horse, including drafts, on these small circles. You go slow. Your walk may take 2 weeks, but it has to be a lengthened walk on the lunge. You cannot rush this or you will hurt your horse. You will hurt them. It's too much stress on them and they cannot carry themselves. So I have my students say, oh my gosh, my horse has stifle problems. They told me not to put him on a tight circle, Caroline. Yes, but pure stifle. This. But you go slow. If that horse can't carry his weight, what's he going to do on that circle? Lean in and overtax certain parts of his body. You want him underneath of himself. So let's watch the trot again and into the canter. I'm not looking for straight. That's not part of my lunge. You work that out when you ride. I'm putting the end of this at his flank right now so he goes more underneath of himself. Laterally. Stretch, look at his back. Lateral, I don't want to canter. Lateral. So look at his back muscles opening up right now. He's opening that up. And he's coming way underneath of himself. Underneath of his center of gravity. So let's look at the canter. I know, but you've got to work right now. So the canter. Lifting, lifting, lifting. Okay? So that, build it on the ground, and then you'll finesse it in your riding. And that helps build the balance for your horse, because I don't know if your horse is rushing and running because of a trigger, a conditioned response, or if they're doing it because they don't have balance. And they fall forward and they get nervous, they buck, you lose your balance, and you add to the equation. Okay, anybody else with a question? I'm going to have to keep going this way, and then I'll come back. Anybody else with a question? I'm here to answer whatever you got as far as behavioral issues, training. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, I have a trailer loading video that is about this work. Because a trailer load is a problem. Don't deal with the problem. Deal with the foundation. Deal with everything that leads the cause of it. So I don't know if it's a trigger, and a condition can happen in the past. Besides, horses, they're like elephants, they never forget. Could happen one time and be that severe and traumatizing that they hold that the rest of their lives until you do something about it. So work on the level of trust and the connection in this work, because you're developing your leadership. You know, my definition, I'll be right back. My definition of leadership is this. This is leadership. Congruency, consistency, love, compassion, discipline, follow through, being firm when necessary, but never taking it or making it personal. So you probably just need to deepen some things on the ground. Your trailer is your feedback. These expos are my feedback on my training with him. They tell me, oh boy, what do we need to work on? Because we can't work in here because I'm never here. But I know that the more discipline and the more attention, and the more focus and the more pushing him out of his comfort but not over the edge builds this here. Yes. Yes, yes, so, yes, great. So once you develop that level of trust wherever it needs to be, do you get away, does it resolve the triggers? Okay, post-traumatic stress disorder, horses never forget, like people. A trigger is a trigger. What you're doing is helping your horse develop the coping skills to deal with it. And you are the solution as far as the horse checking in with you, your leadership. They're going to look to the lead mare and say, oh my gosh, do I need to worry about this? And you're in that split second. So he's always triggered. But the triggers are smaller, they're easier, they're manageable. I'm not in danger. Yes.
Come on, we're going to hang up.
Beautiful question. If I knew my horse had been damaged by whips, would I reintroduce it? Absolutely. And let me tell you how. I do not support desensitizing a fawn. Sorry. These animals were designed to be the most sensitive prey animal on this planet. Why would you want to take that away from them? Do you want to be desensitized? Be indifferent? Sacked out? Surrender? Give up? Break your spirit? No. Remember, the more the horse trusts you, whatever you reintroduce to that horse, you will change his perception and his experience completely. But you have to feel it tiny. You've got to know, okay, where's his threshold? I'm paying attention to you. Don't use his eyes. His eyes are the windows to his soul. His eyes will tell you everything. What he's feeling. They're that expressive. Every horse's eyes are that expressive. Don't stop looking. Look with compassion. But be firm, because they need that. In a horse's world, firmness is about respect. It's about leadership. I love my horses. I love them like you. I kiss on them. I love them. You know that. I can't keep my hands. I'm filthy. But I know where I need to be at different times. So reintroducing whips. I took them to these looking clinics, and they screwed them on. And then my mare was afraid of bags for a year and a half.
It's never really something to do. It's more about...
And I'm trying to, I just gave up in a good way. I left it alone, and oh my gosh, 4 years later,
She grew up
she's okay.
in
She's not great.
Morgantown.
She's okay. She is ruined there. She is ruined there, okay? Yeah. But yes, you can reintroduce it. Your job is the feel and the timing and the slowness. Watch it. Where's the threshold? So the point is, let's look at it. Looking means I'm not afraid. A horse won't give you 2 eyes or 2 ears. They don't respect you. They don't accept you. Does he look at it? Does he go like this? Back off. Back off before that even happens. Does he look? He's aggressive. Well, I can't answer. Yeah, we'll talk with you. And you guys can get me with emails. I'm up here at the clinics and private training all the time. Okay, we'll talk later about that. There's a lot of different strategies. Okay. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's all unique though. You know, not one thing solves everything. Okay, I'm canvassing for questions because I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. Mules. I have my dad. No, I have the donkey right now. No, I've not had the horses. The only thing is not like the mules, but I can't really get my donkey to trailer load. But there's some easy stuff. You know, we did just when he stands. He stood before I had to go back to my dad when we were in Florida. He stood nothing for years. That